When I was growing up, it wasn't necessarily a fake story. Like, it was something that you thought was real.
I think there really was a Bunnyman. He was a real person. He really did assault somebody with a hatchet.
I think it's one of those things where it's like you might have to go to see to believe type of situation.
The town of Clifton itself wasn't actually founded until the 1860s. My name is Brian Conley. I was formerly on staff with Fairfax County Public Library. I was a historian and librarian from 1987 until retired Fairfax in 2019. One of the questions that we started getting on a regular basis after I was hired there was people who were trying to figure out the history of the Bunnyman. You know, legends oftentimes will have some kind of an event that you can track your way back to. I decided to see if the Bunnyman was one of those.
I'm Brandon Lee. I'm a producer for this film. So the first time I heard about the Bunnyman legend was actually back in January, February this year. I have a friend who knows all about the urban legend of the Bunnyman. So she took me to the Bunnyman Bridge, and it was at nighttime. Something about it is just off.
Turning points in the research was when I located the article in the Washington Post from 1970 that a man who was identified dressed as a bunny had thrown a hatchet at a couple in a car. They'd left the area immediately after having this hatchet thrown out and reported the incident to the police.
The two true stories that are documented and have actual police reports associated to them were on Guinea Road on the 53 and 5400 block of Guinea. As time went on, the stories moved further and further down track. So if you talk to people that were teenagers in the 70s, they would tell you the bridge was here, where the train tracks go right here. Clifton specifically was a train stop. I'm Eric Barrett. I'm co-owner of Bunnyman Brewing. I'm from here. I take the urban legend's kind of like a little mascot of my, hometown. So I take it seriously. The real stories started right here on Guinea Road in Burke, not in Clifton. Well, we're within a half a mile of where the real incidents happened, where there was a guy in a bunny suit with an axe, and he was caught in the neighborhoods that they were developing.
And he was confronted by a security guard. Security guards saw this person and were able to verify again for the police department that something had happened. Saw a guy dressed in white, armed with an axe, vandalizing a home in the exact same area where the original attack came place.
There were a lot of calls to the police of sightings of this guy in that same time frame.
Third contact happened shortly after, and that was by a phone call that someone who identified themselves as the Axeman made to the office of the builder of the house that had been attacked. Now, it's unknown whether or not that's the same person or just someone as a copycat, but in total, there were 3 incidents that the police department took seriously and investigated.
It's been maybe about, 50 years since the Bunnyman existed, but you never know. Like, you go to these places and you experience them and you feel the intensity of the area. You know something happened there. Even if you didn't know, you could feel it. There was an insane asylum that housed inmates, and when they were getting switched from one area to another, the bus that was transporting them crashed and released all the inmates that were in there. And unfortunately, all but one were captured, and he was the sole person that wasn't.
This guy killed a guard, escaped and lived in the woods near this bridge. They would find rabbit carcasses near the bridge, and the story progressed and got more crazy where some kids stumbled across the bridge and were found hung from the bridge and killed by the Bunnyman.
I mean, somebody who skins bunnies and, leaves them on the side is not somebody that you would want to run across. So it keeps me a little bit high on alert.
I'm a lot more interested in the legend or possibly the actual truth of the Bunnyman. I don't know if Bunnyman Bridge is a place I would want to revisit again, because I feel like I might have gotten lucky.
I think people are fascinated by the Bunnyman legend because we all like a good story. And it's a great story.
Told him I believe the entire urban legend was created by kids like me who just manifested their own fears of their time into the story. Bunnyman became our own local version of what we made up in our head, and then you manifest the fact that there was a prison right up the road. When I was growing up, prisoners escaped from Lorton, and they would have helicopters flying around our house searching for prisoners. So, of course, we threw Lorton Prison into the mix of our story. So it was like all the things that we were scared about as kids turned into our own little version of a scary story. There was some truth to it. There was a news article that came out in 1970 about a man being sought in a bunny suit. So we had some truth to throw into our imagination and throw all those other components into it. So it was our own little soup bowl of terrifying stories that we made up.
If you're a person who's just morbidly curious and you want to check out Bunnyman, that's fine. Like, check out the bridge, go there, check out the cabin, see what you can find. Be careful, because I don't know what this bad energy is or who is actually out there, and you might find out the hard way.